Hello and welcome to SEO is Not That Hard. I'm your host, Ed Dawson, the founder of keywordspeopleuse.com, the solution to finding the questions people ask online. In today's episode, I'm going to cover tip number 13 from my quick SEO tips collection. So here we go. Tip number 13. One of the greatest SEO skills is patience. Building up content and traffic takes time. Patience will be rewarded eventually. A common question is, how long will it take my site to get traffic, or how long will it take to see the effect of adding new content to my site? The answer that many people don't want to hear, though, is that it can actually take a lot longer than most people like to hear. That's why patience is such an important virtue in terms of website building and SEO. One of the reasons I've managed to do so well with my sites is that I'm prepared to wait for results. While this might seem like frustrating advice if you're eager to make money now, the fact is that the way to make a significant income in 3, 4 or 5 years' time is to be prepared to have patience now. So how long am I prepared to wait? Well, now I'm in the fortunate position to have multiple sites creating income, which means I can afford to wait longer for a site to start to generate enough traffic to make an income. Generally, I can let a site sit for about 12 to 18 months and not be too concerned about traffic. In that time, after launching a site, I might not actually do a huge amount of work on it after getting the bare bones up. I quite often like to let them sit for a while and just get indexed before starting to do more significant work on them. But sometimes a site can build traffic quicker. Some say 6 months or so, and with Keywords People Use it was maybe a bit faster than this. But that was mainly because we started to pick up word of mouth traffic quite early on with that site. But really, to set expectations, if you're looking at launching your first ever site, then you probably need to expect it to be 6 to 12 months of work before you start to see results, and about 1 to 2 years before income really picks up, depending on how well things go for you. I mean, it can go quicker than that and it can go slower. If you see someone else offering advice or services that promise much quicker results, then I'd say be very, very cautious. They could be using techniques with much higher risks, such as dubious link building schemes. That may sound like a long time, but trust me, time passes quicker than you realise. In future, you will be very, very glad you put the effort in and stuck the course to get your site off the ground. The people who win in this game are those that stick it out for the long run. Don't be the person who drops out before the traffic kicks in. Can you shortcut any of this to get going quicker? Well, if you have enough spare capital, you could look at buying an existing site. But you need to be sure you aren't buying someone else's problems. I mean, you quite often see sites up for sale, and if you look at them a bit more deeply, you can see that they've burned the site with dubious techniques and are just trying to recoup some of their investment. In my experience, anything below the 20 to 30k price range is usually not worth buying. You'll also find it very difficult to find a site in the niche you want to build in that's actually for sale. The truly most sustainable way is to build from scratch on a clean, new domain, as there'll be nothing that you don't know about in the future that can come back to bite you. Anything that does will be because of your own actions and not someone else's. Some people advocate for buying expired domains to build sites on. Now, it's a technique that can sometimes work. If you acquire a domain that's previously had a website on and still has backlinks from other sites linking to it, then the theory goes that it gives you a boost when you build a new site on it. Now, I've seen this work sometimes in practice. I've tried it in the past. The tricky thing is, however, to find a domain that's even slightly related to the topic you want to base your site on. And if you do, then your competition is fierce for expired domains with backlinks nowadays. So the cost could end up being in the thousands of dollars for a domain. And with these domains, what you really want is a domain that's not actually expired. You want one that's from a place like GoDaddy where they've stopped it dropping so it's been abandoned by someone, and they are now making it available on auction for other people to buy. So it never truly expires. There is talk that truly expired domain will actually lose its backlinks as far as Google's concerned when it actually physically completely expires. So, while the main focus of this episode was tip number 13, one of the greatest SEO skills is patience, I'm going to end with a bonus tip from my quick SEO tips, which is tip number 14. The best time to have started a website is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. So get started. As always, thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe, like, share. It really helps. SEO is Not That Hard is brought to you by keywordspeopleuse.com, the solution to finding the questions people ask online. See why thousands of people use us every day? Try it for free at keywordspeopleuse.com. If you want to get in touch, have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. I'm at Channel5 on Twitter, or you can email me at podcast@keywordspeopleuse.com. Bye for now, and see you in the next episode of SEO is Not That Hard.